You're watching Time and Tide, because watches aren't boring.
Thank you. Thank you very much, pretend audience. Welcome to a special edition of Watch and Chill with a different format to usual. Look, it's a pinch yourself moment for us at Time and Tide. We have been invited by Zenith to globally launch the last of the 50th anniversary El Primero special editions. And in the process, we're going to tell you all about the amazing story of the El Primero movement. Other El Primero loving guests we have on the show are the founder of Revolution, Mr. Wei Koh, talking about the recent CoverGirl limited edition. Also, WOSstep trained watchmaker, Mr. Michael Woods, who's going to take us inside the movement and tell us why it's so magical. We are starting with what's in the box because my wrist is feeling a little naked right now, and I have a feeling that there may be something in the box to remedy that. Behold, a renovated box. This is much more fancy than usual. Inside the box, we have, well, what do you know? A Zenith Chronomaster 38mm El Primero. What a watch. This has been shipped in just for the show because I wanted to be wearing something that was perfectly on theme, right down to the fact that we have the 38mm version here. Now, this story begins with a text message. I had heard from Zenith that a little box had been found in the attic of the manufacturer, and in that box was the inspiration that the brand needed to do one final 50th anniversary edition watch to celebrate that big birthday of the El Primero. Now, this dusty box in the attic story is one I've heard many times before. Every single time I picture that scene from The Never-Ending Story where the boy finds the book, sweeps it off and opens it up. So I wrote back and I said, really, show me. Show me the attic. Show me the box. Show me the dust. A day later, I received a message on my phone, and this was it.
Hello everyone, my name is Julian Tornare and I'm the CEO of Zenith, and I wanted to tell you a quite amazing and secret story. A year and a half ago, when we were preparing the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the El Primero movement, I received a phone call from two colleagues of mine who told me, Julian, you have to come to the famous attic of Charles Vermont as we made a quite amazing discovery. As soon as I received this call, I left the meeting I was attending and I went right here where I am at the door of the famous attic from Charles Vermont. Let's get in there together. You realize the very special atmosphere here, and it's been quite an incredible story. I'm sure you all know about Charles Vermont, who decided to hide all the components and everything from the El Primero movement. And it was remained in this particular room for 10 years. You can see here that the door was actually broken, and he built a brick wall to protect this. But by protecting all this, nobody knew that some hidden things would reappear years after. I'm talking 50 years after. And this is exactly what happened when we looked into a few furnitures like this one, and we managed to find a quite incredible object, which you can see right here, which is a little box with amazing dials that are here. You see these dials with 3 shades of blue that are quite incredible because they never got commercialized. They were probably made as prototypes, and it's only by founding them that we realized that they never got on the markets and nobody knows about them. So we decided to make a special edition, a tribute again to Charles Vermont and to this great story. And a manufacture edition that will only be available here in the manufacture. Thank you to all of you, and see you soon.
Can I just stop and say how cool that is? that my cynicism to say, all right, another dusty box story, show me, ends with Julian going to the attic himself to show me not only the location and a little bit of the story behind that, but also the box, the dials, the beginning of this great story of the last El Primero edition. Thank you, Julian. And straight after that, I thought, well, we've got to explore this more. We've got to have a Zoom call and talk about the birthday bash that has been, the year of editions that we've had, recapping every single one to celebrate the El Primero's birthday. And the first thing I wanted to know from Julian in that Zoom call was what happened next.
When we got those dials, of course, we met, and I immediately called my close colleagues, and we discussed about that. We said, first of all, they are beautiful. They are in good conditions, and they are beautiful. What do we do with them? I said, it's part of the treasure. We cannot only create a watch and make it in the regular collection. We cannot only create a watch out of this dial and ship it to the whole world. We have to make it special. As you may know, we have been the first manufacturer worldwide to open up our doors to public visits. Every Friday, now I doubled, so it's also Wednesdays, you can visit the Zenith Manufacture. We totally opened the door. So since these dials were found in the heart of the manufacture, I said, let's make a special watch that we will call a Manufacture Edition, only available at the manufacturer. And this has been a great discussion we had, because the 3 shades of blue, like your shirt today, beautiful blue, we decided let's do it a very, very cool and special edition. Not to make quantities, but when you see someone wearing that watch in a plane or in a party or anywhere, you'll know that this person went to Le Loc, in the middle of the Swiss mountains, to visit our manufacturer. And I think the concept is innovative and quite cool. So here is the watch. Now you can see it on my wrist, you know, with the 3 different colors of blue. Of course, it's better to see in real, but you will see the different slight blues that we've been working on. So super elegant, 38 millimeters, respecting all the codes of the watch from the late 60s, but with this little touch of blue, which again was never ever done.
Tell me, Julian, if someone's watching this and they want to buy it online because they're in lockdown, is that possible for a short period of time?
Yes, it is, of course. And you are asking the right question, because today the problem is we wanted to make a big launch today to invite many people to the manufacturer. Unfortunately, with the lockdown, we cannot. And we don't know when we'll be able to resume regular visits. So we decided to combine it with our e-commerce launch in many markets, and to get this piece available also on our online website and e-commerce system. The only thing I want to do, because I really want these people to feel the emotion, to feel the passion, to feel what I do feel when I'm in the attic. So I'd like every owner to come to visit the manufacturer. And that would be great, you know, to have like I will prepare a special book, something where every single owner will write something about what they feel entering the attic. Because honestly, it's an amazing place. And you don't have so many authentic stories like that, authentic locations like the attic, where you feel you really feel the weight of history in a good way. And I would love to take them personally to the attic. I think every single owner of this watch should go and really touch the dial, see the box, see exactly where it came from. So you get a very special experience. And believe me, I'll make sure to be here. As much as I'm not traveling or I'm not in Australia or somewhere else, I'll make sure to be there.
Julian, thank you so much. It's a real honor to be part of the launch of this special watch. I can't wait to see it in the metal, but it sounds like I'll either have to buy one online or wait for the flights to start again.
You have to come and visit me for sure. I wait for you.
So there you have it, an invitation from the CEO of Zenith, Mr. Julian Tornare, to all future owners of the Chronomaster Revival Manufacture Edition. Now, it's time for me to go into a little bit more detail about the watch, some other really interesting facts about it. Firstly, there are no records of this dial configuration, so we will never know whether Charles Vermeau intended this to be a future model or whether it was a contender to be the opening model that he favoured the tricolour version over. We will never know. The watch also features exactly the same movement that powered the 1969 model, which is a high-frequency automatic column wheel chronograph. Now, with all this great storytelling, you'd expect the packaging to be pretty nifty too. Zenith haven't let you down. The watch comes in a book-style case, which can be hidden on your bookshelf, and it also includes a comic book which tells the story of Charles Vermeau. Now, as Julian said, this watch is available online for a short period of time until the manufacture opens up, and that original idea of having people go back to Mecca, go back to base to pick this watch up is able to be realised. Details about where to buy the watch online will appear in the description below. Okay, coming up next is a man who knows all about Zenith limited editions, especially in the 50th anniversary of the El Primero year. It's Mr. Wei Koh from Revolution, the man behind one of the hottest limited editions of the last 12 months. I'm going to say that and mean that from my heart, Mr. Wei Koh, because we had that in a list of our favourite ever media collaborations and limited editions, so you know it's legit. It was the CoverGirl limited edition. Tell me, how did this happen? What is the story behind this beautiful watch?
Thank you very much. You know, I've always been a fan of the CoverGirl. I love the fact that it's on Manfred Vossler's book on the cover, and it's then been given that name. I love the fact that it's got this kind of dope Superman blue color, and I love the fact that it's got a pulsograph and a tachymeter integrated into one scale. And so when I asked Julian if we could have the great honor of working on this watch together, otherwise known as the A3818, created in 1971 actually, he gave us a thumbs up, and so that's it, man.
I'd like to thank you for speaking of celebrations and finishing on a celebratory note. This is a video to celebrate the end of the 50th anniversary of the El Primero. Couldn't have had a better guest on it, so thank you very much for being with us. It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
Up next is moving parts, where we go inside the case and see what's happening with the movement. And this is very fitting for this El Primero edition of Watch and Chill, because the whole episode, Michael, I've just given away who's coming up, is named after a movement. I'd like to welcome to the show Mr. Michael Woods, a WOSTEP trained watchmaker. If anyone can help us with understanding why the El Primero is famous as a movement, it's this guy. Michael, welcome.
Hi Andrew, how are you?
I'm really well. I feel intimidated by your incredibly manly quarantine corona beard. It is a beautiful thing to look at.
I feel sorry for you after you shaved yours off. It does feel naked.
I do. I feel naked. It's not shaved, it's just reduced. Now, Michael, talk us lay people, non-watchmaker people through the complexion of this movement.
I think because it's of a certain quality, first of all, it looks like a traditional chronograph. There was a lot of brands obviously wanting to go towards an automatic chronograph caliber. And when obviously Zenith introduced that in '69, it's got a very clever winding system. They managed to keep the movement quite slim still by doing a very slim winding device on top of the chronograph, and it essentially looks like still like a traditional chronograph with the column wheel and the beautiful finish on the levers. It's it's still of a high quality, and it's shown that it's reliable. It's beautiful looking, but it's very reliable. Obviously, Zenith have the 36,000 beats per hour in theirs, which makes it more accurate, and you can time it to 1/10 of a second as well. You can have a watch with a display back, and you'll see a beautiful movement through it, and you can rely on it. It's a trusted chronograph. They're a true manufacturer, so you have to respect that. You have to respect it.
Well, Woodsy, I've always respected you. That's why I've called you in for this unenviable task of making the complex simple. So thank you very much for a quick flyover or fly through the El Primero movement. It's good to speak to you, and I hope we speak again soon.
Thank you. Great to speak to you too.
Up next, it's the top 5. And for the first time ever, it's the top 5 Instagram pictures by you guys. I've looked at hashtag Zenith, hashtag El Primero, and I've picked my 5 watches to feature. Number 1, easily the most talented Zenith photographer out there, in my opinion, is at Nice Dilly, Mr. Nice Dilly. Look at this beautiful shot of the Defy Classic in titanium. We want you back, Nice Dilly. Number 2 is Craniotes with the A384 El Primero Chronomaster Revival Shadow. Number 3 is Champs G from Brisbane with another cracking shot of the A384. Number 4 is Sharp Citron with a classic pocket shot of the A384. Number 5 is Colette Muller from Oslo, Norway, with this watch, the A386 Chronomaster in 38mm it looks to be. Well done to all, some beautiful shots. Stay safe, stay sane, and keep reading Time and Tide. Thank you.